Girl, that's your whole connection. Why I'm calling this lady and even her phone. Yes, we can hear you, but even your phone, your connection is horrible.
Oh, this is just all bad.
It's all bad. But listen, this will be. Can y'all hear her?
Can you guys hear me? Testing 1, 2. Microphone test 1, 2, 1, 3.
My mic sound nice. Check 1. Okay, listen. It don't sound the best, but do you have your phone turned up to the highest?
Let's see. I got it up as loud as I can. It's not on speaker. It's right to my mouth.
Got it. Okay, so Miss Spirit, now let me tell you something. I was telling the people how you and I met. We met when I was a co-host on Sister Circle Live, and even then we bonded. And I told you then, I said, oh, at that moment I was dealing with some guy. Who knows, girl? I was telling you what happened, and you told me leave him, child. Because he ain't gonna do right.
That's all the business.
But this is what I really wanted to talk to you about, because I know there's a lot of ladies on the live right now who are in their queendom, and I would say anywhere from 35 to 45, who still want to have children. And you and I had a very, very unique and very honest conversation about becoming a mother in a later age. And you, at the time when I met you, how old was your baby?
My youngest, let's see, she's 2 now, so she probably would have been about 6 weeks old, right?
Yeah, she was just getting here. Now, I don't know if you're comfortable, but are you comfortable telling people how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 44.
44 years old and have a 2-year-old, okay? There's hope.
My husband is still trying to sneak one more under the radar. I'm just trying to think about whether or not we're going to do that.
You ain't going to let the people do it?
It's not the people, it's the work that I got to do too, right?
Right. Now listen now. Okay, so
we have 7, so you got to preface that, see, because you got to tell your audience that, so they don't say, oh, why is Spirit not going to let her husband have another baby? We already have 7 children.
Did you birth
he's
7?
Wanting to have 8.
Is this the conversation I asked you? Did I ask you this before? Because I don't remember what the answer to this is. Did you birth 7 children, or did you get a bonus kid?
6 of the 7. 6 of the 7 are biologically mine, and then I have 1 that was born in my heart, not my belly.
Girl, okay. And my girlfriend is 48 with a 5-year-old. Come on now. So, and my other homegirl is on the live. She said, I have 7 and want 1 more. Okay, so this is the thing. But y'all started way early. I'm just trying to start and don't have a man in sight. Okay, let's get to the point. What do you think, Spirit? And I'll run down all your accolades, y'all. I'm telling you, she's all degreed up. She has a TV show on. Congratulations.
I appreciate you.
You know what? I saw it in you though. So when they called you and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you a show," what was that like for you, sis?
Well, it was really about there's a show idea and we'd like to know whether or not you want to be a part of it.
Ooh.
And I'm always leery as a therapist about the kinds of shows and about show ideas, especially with reality TV. And so initially I thought, this is probably not going to be a good idea because historically I only I work with productions with them coming into my office because I believe that it has to be a controlled environment. I'm a real therapist. I believe in doing real therapy. But after I talked to the production company and I talked to the network, and they said that is exactly what we want to do. We want to have you do real therapy and we want the cameras to capture it. Then once I realized that they were serious, then I was down. So,
and then when you saw the check, you was like, okay.
I was like, how many seasons do we got to get to before I can actually think about having an 8th baby? Hello.
Right. Because the 8th baby costs. You hear me? Okay.
Listen, and I don't have nannies, I don't have drivers, it is me and my husband. So when we talk about having children, we're talking about our commitment between each other and the lives that we're creating.
Absolutely, and I love that. So, here in Atlanta, I always tell you, I don't think that there's not necessarily good men in Atlanta. I just think they have too many options. You being here in Atlanta, you've had every kind of person, every woman, every kind of man sitting on your couch. What is your opinion? Do you think there's a lack of good men in Atlanta, or do you think it's a lack of just like there's not enough of men to go around in Atlanta?
Well, you know what? I don't think it's either of those things. And I think if you talk about Black men in particular and you talk about Atlanta, then you're talking about one of the where the population is exactly where it needs to be or beyond. Now you start getting into places like, let's say, Milwaukee or some Bakersfield or the Midwest somewhere, and the representation may not necessarily be the same. So I think to a certain degree, a lot of Black women in Atlanta are kind of spoiled by the possibility. And then you have
you gotta explain that.
Even with all this chocolate, I can't find a good man. And so then I start saying, well, hold up now, because let's talk about what you believe about men. Let's talk about what your experiences have been about men. And why are we talking about all men in general when you need to be focused on the one man that you need? And what it really comes down to is a lot of women don't know how to date in order to find their mate. They're not dating the right way. And so you spend all your time entertaining any and everybody when you really should be leveling the playing field and getting very specific. And I help women find the man and the husbands that they want.
Well, since you're going to go there and say that we're not dating right, how does one date right, Spirit? What do we do? Because remember, you and I had a conversation. You told me right now everything that you want in your guy. You said it. I wrote down a list. I got the man. And he still, he wasn't a one, Spirit. Did I lose her? I think we lost her. Oh my God, it was getting good. Spirit, where are you? What's wrong with your phone, girl? I'm waiting on her to come back. Maybe I call her. I'm going to call her back. Let's see. Oh, hello? Yes. Okay, so listen. Guess what? I'm going to tell you what happened just now. The Bluetooth picked you up. Okay. So tell me how do people find, how do we date? You're saying that a lot of women are not dating properly. How do we date?
Okay, so the important thing is first foremost is to get clear about who you are and what it is that you're wanting. And you have to do your work so that you can attract the person that you're really attracted to and the person that should be attracted to you. One of the biggest things that I have to tell women when I'm doing dating work, and more specifically women than I have to tell men, is that if you are, and I give the analogy of a colored mask, okay, so just go with me for a second. If you on the inside is a woman who is vulnerable, who is sensitive, who loves to cuddle, who loves to be connected, who loves to be vulnerable, and you really want a relationship like that. But every day when you go outside, you armor, but you are in it to show that you're strong, that you're a fighter, to show that you don't need anybody. The type of person that you're going to attract is a person who either wants to play a game with that person or a person who's drawn to that person. So your dating pool is going to be a ton of people that you are not compatible with. So then you start choosing from those men, trying them. Well, he's cute. Well, he seemed like he's kind of charming. Well, let me try this. But none of those men are even compatible with you. So you go through those relationships and they don't work. You find yourself heartbroken, frustrated, angry, resentful, all of those things. And then you want to get out of the dating game. When the real thing is you went into the wrong playing area, showing up as the wrong team. And so you got exactly what you were putting out that you wanted to receive. The real deal is we have to be strong enough and to be vulnerable enough out into the world like who we really are, because it's not until you show up in your full self will you attract and will you start choosing people that you're truly compatible with.
Okay, so you're saying if you want someone, so basically your notion is you believe the opposite attracts. So
no, I don't believe that opposite attracts. What I believe is we front all the time. Okay. We front whether we're on social media, we front when we go out in the streets, especially as Black folks, especially as Black women, let's just be real. We are taught to not let people see the real us.
Right.
So we mask up. And then who we attract, who presents in front of us, are people that are attracted to the person that we're perpetrating like we are.
Yeah, that's actually what I meant. Right. So you're saying if I am strong on the outside but really soft on the inside, I'm going to
be soft outside.
But
you need to be soft outside. But that sounds counterintuitive to who you are, because then what you believe is, Spirit, if I walk around soft outside, people are going to take advantage of me. Spirit, if I walk around soft outside, people are going to try to run over me. But the real deal is, if you don't walk around soft outside, the man that's looking for a soft woman is going to pass you by, because he's not trying to deal with a hard, rugged, rough woman. Right. He's looking for the soft.
So what if it's not about her being soft or not necessarily being hard? What, for example, because I believe I'm a walking contradiction, like many women are. Well, many women have had to be strong and assertive and, a little bit more aggressive than the average woman, because you know we have that's the way we have to operate through our life. You know what I'm saying? Like in my industry, specifically to me, my industry is one that I have to be more assertive. I have to be more, I would say, aggressive, but you know, I have
but
to.
Then you have to know how to turn that off when you're not in your industry. When you're going out to date, you can't show up like your industry representative. When you're trying to choose a man, you can't show up like your industry representative. And here's the hard part, is if that's who you showed up as and that's who you said you were, then that's who he's going to be expecting to see. So you continue to play that game until you find you're really unfulfilled behind the scenes because you're not compatible with him. He's not feeling the real you, and now you have to start all over again from scratch. But now you're started not even really from scratch. You're starting below the scratch line because now you're dealing with the heartbreak. Now you're dealing with everything that you gave to that relationship and the disappointment and resentment that it didn't work out. Now you're dealing with time lost and drama and everything else that comes along with you chose the wrong person because who you sold yourself to be was wrong, and then you think that the problem is him, not that the problem is you.
Got it. So I'm going to read down some questions that a lot of people have sent in, right? So one girl is saying, hey, I'm dating multiple guys. Both of them are good guys. Both of them are good guys. Both of them have a lot going on. How do I make a decision which one do I keep? I'm like, well, which one treats you the best? But I mean, in my mind, you know, you write your list of the things that you want, and then you weed them out. How do you help her make a decision to who was the best for her?
Okay, so it's not the guy that you're not compatible with that you have to be careful of. It's the guy that you're almost compatible with. Those are the ones that are the most dangerous because you will spend your time going, if we could just fix this, this, and this, then this relationship would be perfect. And so you spend all of your time trying to fit a circle into a square, and the real deal is that is not the person for you. So what you have to get clear on, and when you start talking about writing lists, Kiana, you want to write a list only because once you get into a relationship, you get foggy and cloudy in your brain, and you start trying to figure out how to make something work that may not necessarily work.
Right.
So your list is your sober self. Your initial dating self is your drunk in love self. And so your list is the checkbox where you go, this is the kind of relationship that I said that I wanted to be in. But you also have to be very careful when you start making lists, because I have to ask folks when they're dating all the time and they make lists, do you warrant that which you seek? Because we make lists from an idealistic place. Oh, I want him to be a God-fearing man. Oh, I want him to be tall, 6'3". I want this, I want that. But the real deal is oftentimes we choose an idea or a fantasy, and we don't know how to sustain that relationship.
Right.
We don't know how to nurture that relationship, and we're really not compatible with it. I want him to be a doctor. I want him to make 6 figures, and you don't know how to balance 3 figures.
Come on now.
It's problematic. You don't know what it means to walk in that world and what comes with that. I want to date a doctor. Okay, do you realize that the doctor might not be at home 19 hours out the day, and he might be committed to his job, and he might travel and train, and are you sure that you're about that life?
Right.
And oftentimes we're dealing with fantasy and not the reality, and that's why we find ourselves so broken in relationships, because we keep choosing what we think we should have instead of knowing what it should be.
Right. So let me just tell the viewers, you guys, you can submit your questions. I'm missing some of them, so resubmit them. When we came off and came back on, I may have lost them. But submit your questions so I can ask her now, since we have her on the line. So where's a good place for a single woman to meet? I'm speaking specifically about Atlanta. Where's a good place for a single woman to meet a guy?
Okay, so I don't care where she is in the country or where she is in the world. She should be meeting a guy while she is in progress. It's not about a location, and this is what I mean by that. You need to meet somebody while you are already happy and enjoying in progress in your life, and you will know that you are healthy enough to meet that man, because when he steps to you, your initial response is not going to be, oh, yes, I've been waiting. Your initial response is going to be, hold up, bro. Tread light, go slow. Because I'm in my perfect peace right now. And I'm so good with me that whoever comes into my life is going to have to be on point. I'm looking for an enhancement. I am looking for somebody that's going to be my complement or more. I am not looking for drama. I'm not looking for problems. I'm not looking to disrupt my peace.
Right.
Okay, so that's first and foremost. So when you're in your peace, that means your life is already in progress in the way that you want it to be. So you want to choose somebody who's a complement to that. What kinds of things do you naturally enjoy? What kinds of things do you want to be doing with a partner? And I ask my clients, for example, say I'm working with you, you're in my office on a Saturday at 2. I would ask you, what would your ideal partner be doing on a Saturday at 2? And if you tell me, well, he's out washing the car, well, are you at car washes on Saturdays at 2? If you tell me we're out at a football game, well, are you going to go see your local team? And not going with a whole gang of women that he's going to have to weed through in order to try to get to you, or everybody's going to be cackling playing the game. Are you out there dating to win? If you want somebody that's going to be hiking with you, when's the last time you went hiking? But this whole idea that you're going to meet a mate and he's going to complete you and then you're going to start your life, that's not where you're going to meet him. If you like to travel, you need to be traveling so you can meet him in the airport or on the plane or on location. But you have to be living your life in progress. That way you know that you are meeting your complement because he's moving like how you are already moving. And it's important. Compatibility is everything. There's a difference between chemistry and compatibility. And we have to get past the lust of chemistry and get to, are you compatible with the direction that I'm wanting my life to go in?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, me and you got to have a conversation offline, but
we got to do lunch, girl. I keep trying to tell you so I can get your husband.
I know, girl. So Miss Michelle McMove said, how do you date multiple men when you only want one?
Okay, well, when you're dating multiple men, you have to be clear on what the purpose is that you're dating them for. And dating should really be like a job interview for the most important job in your life, which is I'm looking for my life mate. If you're dating a whole bunch of men because you can't find them, then you need to get real clear about the type of man that you're looking for and then get rid of all of those so now that you can be on the lookout and be available for the one who is the composition of all of those things. When you're dating, you have to be clear about what your intention is. Are you dating for companionship? Are you dating for recreation? Are you dating in the effort to find your life mate? And then is that person that you're choosing or the people that you're choosing, are they on the same page with you? And now if you're dating multiple men, though, the other part of this too is, are you dating multiple men with integrity? Are you being consensually non-monogamous where they know you're dealing with other folks, they're dealing with other folks? Are you going to continue that once you find that life mate? Are you now all going to open your relationship up to other people? And are you having that conversation? Like, what is behind the dating multiple men? You need to be clear about that. So again, you know the direction that you're trying to go in and have goals for what it is that you're doing.
Right. So LaShani says, how do you switch from work rep to who you really are?
Okay. So first and foremost, you have to know what is the culture of your office. And the only thing that you're doing is stepping into that culture. It's code switching like anything else. It's like how we talk when Black folks are all around each other versus how we talk when we're in a room of mixed company. It's like how girlfriends talk when they're having a party on a Saturday night drinking wine and how you show up in the boss's office. That's the same way that you want to be dealing with when you're in the office. You show up in your professional state of mind. You show up with your professional presentation, but you have to know how to leave that in the office. And if you can't turn that off, then you have to figure out, can I not turn that off because that really is who I am, or can I not turn that off because I've been so conditioned and I'm operating from a place of trauma where I'm afraid or anxious about turning it off and I don't know how to transition. And if you don't know how to transition, then maybe now it's time to get with a therapist for a couple of sessions to figure out what's really happening.
Woo, girl. Okay, so I don't know how to say her name, Crownism. She says, I'm trying to move forward after finding out that my baby father lied for 3 years about having an 18-year-old child. I just found this out prior to the corona quarantine.
And so when she says she she's trying to move forward, does that mean she's trying to move forward with him? Does that mean she's trying to move forward to get over him? I need to be clear what her goal is, and she needs to be clear about what that is too.
So, and that was what my question was. I'm like, are you leaving him? Are you done because he got an extra kid? I mean, what are we doing? I mean, the kid 18, he off child support. What you mad at?
But see, no, here it is.
It's the lie.
If he was willing to lie to her for 3 years about that, then what else is he lying about, or what else is he capable of lying about?
Right.
So he's violated their relationship. He's committed an infidelity, a cheat against their relationship.
Yep.
So now, if he has not come to her and said, you know what, I recognize that I was wrong, I need to spend time earning your trust, let me tell you what the play is, and I'm going to take the lead in order to make this right and make sure that you never have to worry about not being able to trust me again, then she's going to be stuck right where she is. And so she's not going to be able to move forward. And what I'm going to say is great therapy, whether it's going to be individual therapy to heal and move on past this relationship, which is hard because if this is her baby daddy now, she got her own co-parenting situation she's going to have to deal with, or if she's going to move forward to try to forgive, she has to recognize that that has nothing to do with him and everything to do with her, because forgiveness is a choice that we make as an individual when we're ready.
Absolutely. She said she want to move on without him. Okay, so the next question from God's Lady J. She wants to know, where do you find a seasoned man? And also, is it, and I actually know the answer to this. She said, is there true love after 56? I don't think love have an age. I just saw something online, she was 85 or 89. She just got married. So I think absolutely you need to be open. I believe you just have to be open, but I'm not the expert. So what do you say, Miss Smith?
But you're right on target. First and foremost, age does not have an expiration. I can tell you that even, a great example, my own grandfather got married again when he was in his 80s.
Come on.
So, it is what it is. When we love, and love has no age limit or restriction on it. But when she says a seasoned man, what I want her to do is I want her to recognize that the word seasoned means something different to everybody. And the only person that she needs to figure that out with is, what does season mean for her?
Right.
And again, this goes back to my earlier advice about being in progress. When you fantasize about the man that you want and the kind of life that you want with that man, what are you guys doing?
Right.
What is he doing? And then are you putting yourself in those places to meet him? Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of folks, Kiana, what happens is they sit around waiting in their whole house. I say, they tell me about the kind of man they want. They give me the whole fantasy. It sounds so good and juicy. And then I go, okay, so tell me what you do. Tell me what you usually do. And they go, girl, nothing. I go to work and come home. Okay, well, he's not about to come knock on the door, sis.
So, okay.
He's not about to, reach for the peas at the same time as you, especially if you order it for delivery to your house.
I love that.
So how are you getting the man?
Right. So the next question is, how do you feel about online dating?
Oh, I'm so here for online dating, and I'm going to tell you why.
And which site?
I'm here for online dating because online dating allows you to parse out and at least get somebody's supposed, and this is a key word, supposed story without the fear or without the anxiety that you may go further than you want to before you're ready. Okay? And the real deal is, what we have to know is the thing that creates the problem is usually sex. And it's not for the reason that we think. People do not understand that sex releases chemical hormones into your bloodstream from your brain. So the minute you have sex with somebody, and especially if it's good and you climax, your brain is chemically altered. That's why you are love drunk. That's why you got on the love goggles. That's why no matter what happens in that situation, it has to play itself out. Even when your whole family and your friends is like, girl, what are you doing? He's not good for you. You can't see it and you can't let him go because you have that what's called NRE, new relationship energy. So the minute you have sex, you chemically alter your brain. So meeting somebody online removes the ability for you to do that now, unless you're going ahead and having some mutual masturbation online or some other thing. But we'll save that for the after hours show.
Come on, Spirit.
Okay. So, I mean, let's just be real.
Right.
So, but it allows you to get to know what somebody's supposed story is, and then when you feel comfortable taking it offline, comparing what it is that they told you about who they were to to who you see them to be, and deciding and having the discernment is what they told me, matching up to who they are in front of me.
Right. So Michelle Makeover, this is actually, she actually just said, well, Michelle make move, said she's scared of online dating. And I'm going to second what you just said, Spirit, because I feel like when you're dating online, you can meet crazy people in person. You can be misled by meeting somebody in person. They pull up with a shiny car, and the only benefit that you get of meeting somebody in person is actually seeing them in person. But online, you can spend some time to get to know them, and all of the other stuff that gets in the way when you're meeting people, the sexual energy, the flirtation, that can happen online too, but it also can be a distraction in person. Like, I'm abstinent. At this point, I'm just in a whole drought, and it's intentional. But my thing is, I've encountered.
And it's not a drought; it's a buildup.
It's a buildup. Okay, well, girl, it's gonna be some problems when it goes down.
You're gonna unleash on somebody when you're ready. A drought is just done going dry. That ain't what this is.
So, right, and so the thing is, anytime I say that to a guy, and I'm like, well, they always ask, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you holding out? I'm like, well, first of all, I need to know, if this is a relationship that I want to go there with or in. And so they, you get the same response. Well, if I'm not gonna do right, I'm not gonna do right even after you had the sex. So I'm like, that's not encouraging. If I wait 90 days or 2 weeks or 10 days or 3 hours, I don't want to hear you tell me that I may not do right if you have sex with me today or tomorrow. Like, that does not. So for the ladies who have decided to wait, what is your, I guess my question should be, how do we date when sex is completely off the table?
Well, you do exactly what it is, and you tell them up front. And some men are going to be okay with that, and some men are not. But remember that the man that is your man is going to be okay with that.
I think my man got swallowed. Okay, but go ahead.
He didn't get swallowed, girl. It's just that you're much more specific. See, listen, finding your man is like, you remember back in the day that old character, Where's Waldo? Finding your man is really the needle in the haystack. The real deal is, because it's just one man, most of the people that you meet are going to be no. They're going to be no. So that's why you have to learn how to drill down. That's why you have to learn how to get very specific, and you have to be dating savvy. You have to have a strategy so you keep putting yourself in the pools where your man is going to be. You can't tell me, Spirit, I really want a professional man, and then I say, okay, so what is the idea of professional? Like, what kind of work does he do? And in my line of work, we get as specific as we possibly can. So I get into, how does your man show up for work if he works? Is he in a uniform? And if so, are we talking a military uniform? Are we talking a firefighter's uniform? Is he in a suit and tie every day? Is he in a jersey every day? Like, who is your man? And then talk to me about how often you're putting yourself in those circles. You can't tell me that you want to date a man who's like an attorney or a judge, and you don't hang out where he hangs out. You're not a member of any networking organizations. You don't even go to the lobbies or to the bars when they have the conventions in your city.
Oh, so you're all about
going in. Attorney.
So you all about going in for the hunt.
Oh, girl, what else are we doing? If I'm looking for my man and I know who he's going to be, why am I not putting myself where he is?
Okay, well, let me read.
Listen, there are 7.7 billion people on this planet, approximately, the last time I checked the numbers. You are looking for your matches. Most people are not going to be your matches, but the number of matches that are out there for you are more than what you can conceive. If you are not meeting your matches, then they are not the problem. The problem is you. You are going about it the wrong way. And most of us never learned how to date. We never learned how to fall in love. We never learned how to choose somebody we're compatible with. And we never learned how to manage a relationship and nurture and grow it into forever. We have got to become more studied in this area. You need to become an expert in how to show up in your own life. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to get with those of us who are that so we can teach you. You can have the life you want the minute you stop perpetrating that you're living it and really learn how to do it.
Okay, so listen, I cannot wait to get you off this line because I got things to tell you. Okay, so
don't you call me after I gotta work tomorrow.
I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna call you today. Listen, I'm gonna talk to you on Saturday morning. Look, so Lola, I don't even know how to say this baby name, but she said, how do you deal with an emotional shutdown person with trust issues and both of you are attracted to each other? He texts me every day but doesn't have much to say. I'm confused. First of all, can I please address this one time? If a man don't pick up the phone and call you, sis, it's something going on. Either he got a lady at the house. We on quarantine. He's either at the house that with a woman that he likes very much, and you something else. You just something to do. Because right now people don't have nothing but time to pick up the phone and call people. What you doing?
Okay.
FaceTime. How you feeling?
So I'm gonna break her heart and I'm gonna tell her why they're not made for each other right now. What she's attracted to right now is her wound mate. WOUNDMATE, and she needs to leave him all the way alone. And the reason for that is because even though that she recognizes that he's unhealthy, he may have even told her, and he's showing her that he is not a healthy person, he is not in a good place, and he has a history of trauma. She is still drawn to him, trying to figure out how to get access to him and bring him into relationship. No emotionally healthy person wants to deal with an unhealthy situation. So we need to figure out what unhealthy part of her that needs to be healed is attracted to somebody else who is already unhealthy. Because that right off the rip is not going to be the move. And what's going to happen is either one of them, God willing, will get healthy, and then they will no longer be attracted to each other. They won't be compatible because now the healthy version of one of them is not compatible with the unhealthy version of the other person. So unless you're looking for a project, you're looking for somebody to heal, you're looking for somebody to rescue, you're looking for somebody to reassure and pour into, all of those things which are yellow and red flags on the play, then this is not the situation for you. So what I would say is, let's stop, figure out, is he a part of your unhealthy pattern? Do you choose this kind of project and unhealthy men constantly? What is that about? Where did you learn that? And how do you heal that so you can show up differently and choose a man who is ready and willing and able to not only receive you, but to enhance your life?
Come on. Please. Okay.
This is a no all the way
all
around.
The way
I'm sorry,
no.
I can't see you. I don't know you, but this is a no, sis. Don't do it.
I don't play those games. If you can't pick up the phone and call me, we have nothing to discuss. I can't. I'm not. I'm grown. I'm a whole grown
he's
woman.
Not healthy. So
no.
Either he's depressed, he's disengaged, he's not interested, he's not feeling himself. Whatever it is, though, he is not in a place to have a healthy relationship. So she's already setting herself up for heartbreak, frustration, resentment, failure, and being in a bad situation already. What part of her can see that but still is moving towards it and not away from it?
Right. So I know this can go on forever and forever and forever, but I want to make sure I say this. First of all, thank you. And then secondly, the last question I'm going to take. Okay, so how do okay, let me just go ahead and say it. So I accuse my ex of financial infidelity because, I felt, because he would say things like, I'm looking for a 50-50 girl, like when it comes to finances. And I was like, what? I've never experienced that. I've never been in a relationship with a man expecting me to pay half. It's like, sir, you, in my opinion, this is me, you're not looking for a girlfriend, you're looking for a roommate. Like, I'm not, like, I get it. He was very, very specific on certain things. Like, I'm the man of the house, and I do this. And okay, well, if you're the man of the house and you want to be king of this castle, at the very least, sir, pay the mortgage. At the very least, be the king of this. Pay for the what do you call it? The crown of the household. How are you gonna be the king of the household, but you want the wife, the queen, to meet you halfway? Now, don't get me wrong. I definitely believe in helping. I understand that, and I've been in situations where I didn't have to do anything at all. But and he will always use this example, and this is why I left him. My mama used to come home and give my daddy her whole check.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said it, because I'm going to tell you, there is a problem for us Generation X and Y folks that the Zennials and the Millennials are not having to deal with, and the baby boomers aren't having to deal with. So I need all of my Generation X and Y to pull up real close right now so I can what's going on. We live in a time and place where for the first time in our history, we cannot get the advice of our mothers and our grandmothers about how to do relationship, but we also can't look to the Zennials and the Millennials because they have already figured this out and they are doing relationships different. So the roommate plan for them works. They're doing 50-50 with the straight up bank accounts. I put in half, you put in half, I keep my own account, you keep your own account, and we might have an account for the house. But for the Generation X and Y, we are a cross between the boomers and between this group of zennials and millennials. So we're caught right in the middle. And here's the problem with being caught in the middle, is that our men have it twisted. Our men want to be traditional men like their fathers and their grandfathers and go to work every day and then come home into the house, right? Pat the kids on the head, have the woman be the superwoman swinging from the chandeliers, and then be the lady in the streets and give to the sororities and to the church and everything else, right? But they also want her to go to work every day like them as well. Right? So they want her to contribute like how the zennials and millennials are doing. They want her to be everything and work outside of the house from 9 to 5, like the younger generations, but also be the traditional woman who takes care of them, who rears the children, who is the freak in the sheets, who cooks the hot meals and does the laundry like the boomers, like their mothers and their grandmothers. So there's this confused state that we're in right now where we go, our men want us to be everything, but they only want to do part of it, and then they don't realize why we're so tired. And there is this frustration between the men and women in that generation X and Y. Because the men are saying, you're not like my mother or my grandmother, and the women are going, but yeah, but you don't honor me like my father or my grandfather. So there's a problem for us in the middle.
So, oh my God. Okay, so listen. Tell the people, how do they, because I'm going to eat this last little 5 minutes up with you, because I want to make sure, what's the one dating tip that every single woman on the line should know? What should we be doing?
You know what? Really, you should be working on you. And I know that that sounds crazy, and all the women are going to go, oh my God, Spirit, no, I don't work on me. But I don't mean your degrees. I don't mean the house. I don't mean the cars. I don't mean the credit. I don't mean the hair. I don't mean the red bottoms. I don't mean the nails done. What I mean is, so many of us have built up our lives to a state of independence that we haven't worked on our insides in order to show up vulnerable and in need of being interdependent in a relationship. So we want a man, but we feel like we don't need him. Then we don't know how to go in there and say, baby, you know what? I take that back. I do need you. My world ain't going to work without you. I've really been waiting for you to come in and be my other whole. I really want to show up in a relationship in a different way. And we can't do that if we don't do our work to heal our vulnerabilities, to heal our wounds, to heal our childhood trauma. We got to do the real work on us. We've built ourselves up to be in competition with the other women around us so we can be chosen. But the real deal is your man is waiting for you. And I don't care if you're in a sea of 100 of the baddest, you know what's in the room. Your man is still going to find you if you show up in that place whole, healed, and happy, ready to receive him, not in competition with the woman on the left, not in competition with the woman on the right, but waiting for him to come over and have the conversation with you, or you getting up walking over to let him know, baby, I have arrived.
I love that, because, you know, I kind of have the belief, kind of is not the word, I have always had the belief that we're all broken to a certain extent. Like, but, you know, we're broken. Like, how broken are you? You know what I mean? I'm a child molestation survivor. I'm healed from that. I'm able to talk about it. It doesn't hinder me in the bedroom. It doesn't hinder me in my life. If someone tells me that they've been molested, me too, sis. Let's talk about it. Who was it? What happened? Did you get counseling? Did you sit on the couch? Did you talk to your mama? Did you face your violator? I can talk about this thing and not be in my feelings about it. A lot of times, because I'm so comfortable talking about it, it makes other people uncomfortable, right?
But here's the thing about being broken, though, and I am a subscriber to the concept of kintsugi, and I'm gonna tell you this real quick because I think it's important. I believe that we are all broken, but the Japanese have a tradition or a custom called kintsugi, and it is a belief that we do not get our beauty or our uniqueness until we are broken. And so what they do in their culture is that when something is broken, they don't throw it out. What they do is they take precious metals, whether it's platinum or gold or silver, and they use those precious metals to fuse that thing back together. And because no two things can be broken in the same way, it is the brokenness and the fusing back together, which is wabi-sabi, that gives it its beauty, that gives it its uniqueness. And so what we have to learn how to do is lean into our brokenness, realizing that that is our power. That makes us who we are, and nobody is exactly like us, which is what is going to bring your mate to you. Because nobody else can be you. You have to own you. You have to love you. You have to show up in you, in your strength and your power of your brokenness.
Right. And then you have to also you have to acknowledge that you're broken and be willing to work on that to mend it. Some people are in denial of the fact that, oh, I'm whole. No, you're not. And even if you're not, and even if it's because how broken are you? Are you 50%? Are you 10%? And I mean, that's a hard number to kind of calculate. But the biggest things and biggest obstacles in your life, you have to have addressed it and literally like get through it. You got to fight through it and get over it.
Yeah, you know, that a lot of that comes back to, though, that whole post-traumatic slave syndrome and the intergenerational trauma that's passed down, because we've been conditioned through survival to believe you don't show anybody your brokenness, you don't show anybody your weakness. And at a time, that was necessary in order for us to survive as African people and African-American people on this continent. And so that was passed down, but we are in a different time now, and we have to heal ourselves and show up differently for our own survival, because what worked for our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents is working against us, and it's killing us as a Black community and as Black families now.
So this
it's a different time.
It absolutely is. Listen, I want to make sure everybody knows they can follow you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Tell them real quickly, because we got 1 minute. Tell them real quickly how to catch the show. And
they can find me real easy. Talk to Spirit everywhere. I'm Talk the number 2 Spirit. They can go right there. I do live mental health chats on every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. You guys can talk to me. You can tune in to Love Goals every Saturday on the OWN Network at 9 Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm here. I've been here for over 20 years. God willing, I'm going to be here for 20 plus more. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here to get us all together and heal us as a people.
I want to say thank you so much, and I love you. And I will.
I love you more.
As soon as the outside open, we're going to get together, sis.
That's it. Look, we're going to do that. And for the time being, we're going to do some physical distancing, but socially interconnected. We're all still together, and we're going to get through all of this, y'all, just one step at a time. Just loving, healing yourself first, and then touching those around you. Absolutely. I love everybody so much.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
All right. Call me, girl.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hey, you guys, you know what? It was an amazing and free, y'all, segment with my girl Spirit. You guys would never, ever get that kind of opportunity. She was just very frank, and she broke it all down for us today. I'm so grateful that she took the time out of her day, and she has 7 children. She don't got time to sit and talk to me, but she did, and I'm grateful. So you guys make sure you follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all things social on Talk to Spirit. What we're going to do, because this thing is actually going to shut down. Oh, it might not actually. I don't know how much longer I have, because I remember I came back. So what I am going to do is request that we get Curran on the line, and I don't know if he's going to, he might not come in, but you know what? It was an amazing session with Spirit, and I know she answered a lot of questions. We had a lot of information in here. If somebody would go and send Kerwin a DM and tell that man. Let me see if I can get on my Instagram. Oh yeah, I can do that here. I want you guys to know that, you know, Spirit is one that if you are having any relationship problems, or you know you're doing just like me, you're being single and pretty in the city, definitely reach out to her, because Spirit is one that, man, she just got a lot of things. She got a lot of experience. She has a lot of, not only her degrees, but she has a lot of experience that definitely can be a benefit. Let me tell him to get on now. I'm waiting on Curran to get on. And, oh, wow. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Spirit. Hey, Curran, get on the line. Oh, here it is. So, can you get, so Curran is one of the biggest internet comedians on the planet. If you have not heard of him, you are now in for a treat, honey. When I tell you, this baby is funny, and he is one, I've worked with him multiple times. Very, very funny guy, travels all over the world. He country, honey, very Southern. I love me a good Southern boy. And he's a father. He's really, like, when you see him in person, his stand-up is phenomenal. Like, it's a party. So if you have never seen Kerwin, you in for a treat. But Kerwin, yes, Kerwin Claiborne, he's a fool, straight fool. So I'm waiting on him to get online. I just sent him a DM. He tried to get on earlier, and unfortunately, that conversation was so good with Spirit, I could not stop her. Listen, I can talk to Spirit all day long because just like she said, honey, I suffer from that superwoman. And it's not that I'm so hard on the outside, but I definitely, I'm vulnerable. But, that's not a gift that you just going to get from me. Like, if I don't see that I can trust you with my most inner, parts of me, my most inner, I guess, gentle and most vulnerable parts of me, you just don't get that. I'm not saying I'm running around here with armor on every day, but you're not just going to be down to the you just not gonna know me like that. You just not gonna know me. Now, Kerwin, I sent him a DM. Now that baby did what he was supposed to do. He was right here. He was on. He was where he was supposed to be. And then what I do? I was not available. So let me see if I can get him back on his live. This baby had 417,000 followers. So we are in. If we can get him to get in here, we're gonna be in for a great, great, great treat. Miss Lolly, Parasol, what you want to talk to me, girl, on the live? Let me see what you're talking about. Oh, it's a lot of y'all trying to get in here. Okay, wait, y'all wanted to talk to me? Okay, let's see. Okay, we're gonna let Miss Lola come in here. Lola, don't come in here with no craziness. You hear me, child? I'm gonna get Curran on. As soon as Curran pop in, you got to get out of here. Hey,
hi.
Sis. How are you?
I'm doing great, waiting on Trump to send me my 1,200, so I have to work until then.
Girl, you're going to have to work after you get that little $1,200. Look.
I work at the airport. I had to stop working. I'm doing deliveries now. But everything's going great for me. I had a question, and you actually asked the Talk to Spirit the question, and my phone shut down, and I got back in at the end of the answer.
Okay, so what was your question? Your question was the one about he just texts you?
Exactly. So I met him online on Tinder, and it was a one-night stand, and that was it for me. But we ended up having...
Whoa, stop. You had sex with him?
Yeah, it was just a one-night stand. That was
you
it.
You keep saying just. That's no, ma'am. He's not available. Move on. You messed up. You already gave him the cookie. Ain't nothing else he can. This is my opinion. It's nothing else. Y'all done. If he's not available to text you, to pick up the phone, call, and have a full conversation with you.
No, that's the problem. He does all of that, but he's emotionally unavailable. And I've told him many times.
No.
I don't get it. I like you. You like me. And then it's been 3 years. We see each other every so often, but he's not committing, and I wasn't committing because I wasn't ready. Now that I'm ready, he calls me and texts me every day, and I'm available for him because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try, get to know him and all of that. And I see that he's emotionally shut down. That's why I was asking Talk to Spirit, what do I do? It's confusing.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually air her interview, but I'm gonna tell you this. She said no. Leave him alone.
No?
If he's emotionally not available, you don't want those. You don't want men who are not emotionally available.
I never dealt with that. That's why I'm like, and I'm 23, so it's like for me, dating is very complicated because I'm still getting to understand how it works, so I'm learning through you guys and your experiences on these lives and things like that. So I had to ask because I'm in this situation where I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Girl, you gave him the cookie. That's what's going on. 23 years old. How old is he?
He's 20. He's turning 27 this year.
Girl, he ain't already got the cookie, child. Ain't nothing else to talk about. He done.
So why he texting
because he wants some more, and he wants to keep you at bay. And when he wants to come over or wants you to come over, he gonna ask you to come over, and then you gonna go over, and then he's not gonna be there for you emotionally, but you gonna be there for him physically. So the thing is, you have to make a stand. You have to take a stance, in my opinion. Take a stance. Like, this is not available if that is not available. You can't offer him your body, but you can't, and he can't offer you his heart if that's what you want from him. Now, if you just wanted the sex, just have the sex. But that's not what you want. You want more than the sex. You want someone who is available to you emotionally, physically, mentally. You want someone who was there all across the board. He's not able to do that for you. And even in my opinion, I have to keep saying that because I'm not an expert, but I am experienced. In my opinion, at
Yeah.
23, this is the time for you to kick it. I made the mistake. I was with my ex from 19 to 23. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
19 years old to 29. Sorry. I was with the
Yeah.
same man for 10 years. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you should be, this is your time when you should be kicking it. You should be dating. You should be experiencing. If you're going to do a one night stand, girl, have that one night stand and keep it moving. Don't get your emotions caught. You can't get your emotions caught up in a one night stand. It don't work like that.
That's what happened. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, and that was your fault because a man don't have to have any emotions to sleep with you. He has to have no emotions, baby girl. He didn't got to know your name,
Oh my God.
so he don't have to know your name, girl. He didn't. Matter of fact, you didn't have to have a bed. You could have told him you had this good pillow, and you want to have sex with him on this pillow, and he would have been okay with that. You have to value yourself more. Now, I get it. At 23 years old, we make a lot of irresponsible decisions. We do a lot of things just out
All
of,
the experience.
right. You want to experience things. But what I will say is you have to value yourself. At 23, just giving yourself to somebody, you have to offer more than your physical.
No, of course. At that time, for me, I had just gotten out of a very long relationship. And I hadn't experienced any other men because I was with that one person for the first time for a long time.
Understand, girl, I didn't
So I
know
was
nothing
like, I'm out.
Right. I didn't know nothing about another man until I turned 30, sis. So that what I'm trying to tell you is kick it. Be careful, kick it. If he's not available to you, spirit said no, keep it moving, girl. That ain't the one.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Girl, that he's not the one. What you want is someone who is going to be available to you and someone who
Yep.
is willing. And if not, just have a good time. Date, be social. But if you're going to date on these online apps, girl, don't go from the
No, I'm
high
not
to
doing
the...
it no more. That was the last one. After him, I was
No,
like, what the fuck did I put myself in?
Let me tell you something. Dating online as a 23-year-old is the right thing to do because y'all don't communicate. Y'all stand right in front of each other and won't say nothing to each other. The thing that you need to remember is if you're going to date online, whether that's online or in person, period, don't go from hello to here's my panties. That's not what you do.
No, that for me, that was an experience that I'm over with. Now I'm ready for a relationship because I hold everything down. I have my own car, my own apartment. I have a career. Like I'm good. I'm independent. I don't ask my parents for nothing. I'm very independent and very proud of that. So now I feel like I'm ready to meet a man who's gonna be not my man, but my partner, my friend, my best friend, someone I can build with. That's what I want. That's
First of all, how long were you in your last relationship?
I was in my last relationship I met him when I was 15 years old, and we have a child together.
So how long were y'all together, though?
We were together for 5 years.
Girl, you need to kick it. Ride around that airport till you blue in the face, girl. Deliver some more food. You need to kick it. Being in a relationship right now is not what you need. You need to date.
Okay.
Summertime. As soon as Corona is gone, girl, I want you to date. I want you to get out. Be on multiple dates because see, your experience is limited, which also fogs your frame of mind. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to get out. You need to hang out. You need to be cute with your girlfriends. You know, there's a whole list, and I need to find it. But I have this thing called 30 things you need to do before you die. And you've already done one. You had a one-night stand. So let me help you with some other ones. Let me help you with some other ones. But certainly, don't get yourself caught up trying to be finding a man. Don't get yourself caught up trying to be in a relationship. This is a good time to really find out who you are. Spend some time getting to know who you are because you were in such a relationship. You were in a relationship so long catering to him, and then you became a mother. So I would say, and I got 27 seconds, I would say, the only thing that you need to do is focus on you. Learn how to, just like Spirit said before you missed it, learn what the things that you do like and the things you don't like. Spend some time getting to know who you are, and then you will be able to offer more into that relationship. And then, girl,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
And just come back and check the live because her answer is going to be there, okay?
Thank you so much.